Anyone there? Still don't have the souvenirs? So that you can know my branding. Okay? Okay guys, I will start off with the short seminar. Okay? Yep. I'm Steven. Okay, the General Manager for Trelleborg Marine System Asia Private Limited. So of course, today we would like to share a bit about Trelleborg. I think the main thing is about more of the life philosophy. I think I myself have been sitting like you guys before, as a new grad or whatever. Life is so uncertain, you don't know what you want to do here and there, what is our future, how we look at it. So basically, it's quite important that, we understand a bit, of course, about life philosophy. And then you start to do your planning. You plan. No one plans to fail, but many fail to plan. You get what I mean? I think for young adults, it's important that you need to have some goals and then some action plan, what you want to do over the next 3 to 5 years. I'm a person that believes in always planning. Why my managers always say, Steven, everything you do, you need to plan. So somehow, that's the way how you should be doing over the next few years after your university grads or poly or whatever. So I'll share a bit about our company, Trelleborg. Also, we'll touch a bit on the business overview and then the life philosophy, some core values. Of course, Trelleborg, we are founded in 1905. It's been existed for almost 120 years. So we are around $4 over billion company and 100 over manufacturing plants, everything worldwide. So we are Swedish firm, definitely. So we are listed in the stock exchange, and then of course some of you guys also ask me, Steven, are you in this industry or that industry? Actually, the coverage is huge. We are in the aerospace, medical, automotive, and even the marine industry, LNG, and really from the ground to the space. We even provide engineered polymer solution of the seal for the spaceship, all the way to the rockets, everything. So basically, it covers quite a fair bit of our Trelleborg. Before I start, can someone tell me how do we actually pronounce this word in Swedish? Who want to give it a try? Do a quiz.
Okay.
How we pronounce in Swedish? Come, let's try. You want to try? Come. Don't be shy, just try. Trelleborg. In Swedish, Trelleborg. Trelleborg. Come on. I want to see who is the nearest. Just use your imagination. Anybody? Huh? It's actually Trelleborg. So the G they call it E. Trelleborg. Quite tough. So my first quiz by my boss is, can you pronounce this? If not, you don't get the job. Last time we still don't have Google Translate. After I Google Translate, Trelleborg. So it's got a bit unique. Yep. Okay, later we'll do more quiz. Okay. I think all of you are students, and definitely you look at your life, how you want to plan ahead. Of course, when you look at life, it's really about every 10 years. For me, since young, of course I'm now in my 50s, I'm an old man, okay. So when we are in 0 to 9 or whatever, there's a lot of curiosity. You play without limits. You are very curious to find out everything in the world. Somehow, of course, nowadays children are very different. I don't used to have tuition, enrichment class or whatever. I just play. From morning, I go to school. After school, I play soccer. Until all the way at night, I go back home. The next day, the school starts. I don't do my homework, everything. That's my life. But nowadays, kids are very different. We are in a different century, in a different generation. So of course, that 10 years, are wonders. You actually have the freedom. But when you reach the age of 10 to 19, what happens? You start to identify yourself. You try to discover peer relationship, academic performance. Sometimes you fail doing things. Of course, like I have 2 kids, my kids are 18 and 20. The first ever thing happened to me is that, Daddy, I think your son has a girlfriend. Huh? Why got girlfriend? I said, you must finish university then have a girlfriend. And then the next moment, after 1 month, your daughter has a boyfriend. So eventually, I learned. Of course, peer relationship. Of course, when you go into relationship, it's about maturity. You need to be mature to handle relationship. Of course, I tell my wife, never mind, it's puppies love, let them fail, let them learn, it's okay. But make sure they are not so sad until you fail your JCs, you can't go to uni. So I have a daughter that is on year 2 JC this year. I'm panicking. I said, when she came back, cry, I said, what happened? I just hooked up with my boyfriend. I said, okay, you learn. It's okay, you will get over it soon. But I'm still thinking of him. I said, along the way, there are more relationships. But at this moment, I think you can treat me as your boyfriend first. So I think at this age, it's really about identity. Basically, even for me, as a young teenager before, I tend to be very rebellious also. Very rebellious, always talk back to parents, everything. So eventually, when you reach your 20s, you start to finish up your uni, even graduate, and then you start to look for jobs. I think at this age is the beautiful age. Why I say that? I used to, look at the industry, I try to find job, and I joined the industry during the financial crisis. And during the financial crisis, it was so hard to get a job. I think at the age, I was like, I applied almost like 80 applications. I went for 5 interviews. And then eventually I keep failing. So there is no limit. I keep trying. And eventually I got a job. And then of course I joined a US MNC company doing the hydraulics. And after 1 month, I asked my supervisor, I said, at the first place, why did you choose me as, to become your application engineer? And he looked at me, you know why? Because you're the cheapest. Because I'm the cheapest, my heart sank. So at the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, as a young, newly grad, and the financial crisis, what you expect? The main thing is to get a job. You need that learning curve. You need that first step up into the industry. Then you can slowly excel. I tell myself, that day that he told me, I told myself, within 3 years, I will make sure I will promote to the manager role. Is it by word of mouth? No. You need to work very hard. You really work harder than all your fellow peers, your fellow colleagues. I remember when I was a application engineer, in the day I do my work, at night I had to tackle our colleagues in the US. Wake up in the middle of night, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. to resolve some of the technical issues. From there I learned, and then at the same time, it's not just technical. Engineers are very theoretical. Wow, we can do all the schematic, talk very well. And suddenly my agent challenged me, can you repair the hydraulics? You are good in theory, show me the way. I was like, I look at the hydraulic, I haven't touched the hydraulic. Then you call the application engineer. So from the day when he commented, I went back to my technician. I learned from scratch with him for the next 6 months. I made my hand very dirty, soil, everything. And the next time when I go back and visit the clients, we have another test. Straight away, I pull out my long sleeve and start to repair the hydraulics. So it's never been easy along the way when you build your career. So you have some pitfalls sometimes, but I think the main thing is that what you really want. So at this age, I think there is no limit. You should try any job that you really want to go for it. You may feel that this job will not be right for me or whatever. But it's okay because you are trying, building your base. You need to find something that you are passionate about, and then you go for it. So by the time you reach 30s, right, it's an age of responsibility. Probably some of you, have a partner, you plan for marriage, you plan for family or whatever. You need to be very stable. It's stable in the sense you need to know what you really want. Is it that you want to be an engineer, you want to be a sales business development manager, or you want to be a researcher or whatever? Depend on the faculty you are in. I'm a mechanical engineering. Of course I got my master in mechanical and I took my MBA. So somehow along the way, you should not stop learning. And this age is very important because a lot of times, right, at this age, I even see some of the resume where managers always job hopping. Job hopping every 1 year, 2 years. This job offer me another $500 for the job hop. And then another job, it goes another $1,000 in job hop. But are you good at what you are doing before you job hop? Because for me, whenever I look at the resume, whoever job hop within 2 years, 3 years, I will never look at it. That to me, 1-2 years, we will never learn. My first job took me 9 years. This is my second job that took me 20 years. You get me? So basically, job hopping is not the solution when you reach this age. You must really know what you really want and you move on from there. It's very important. Also, building your base and then focusing your career, very important after that. So when you reach your 40s, you start to balance life really. Why? Your family, your children, or what? I know young adults are sometimes, even I have some colleagues like daughter and son, say, Steven, my children nowadays doesn't want to have baby, they want to have cats and dogs. I was a bit surprised by that also. Life is so different now for young adult. But eventually, it really depends on the individual. So at this age, you really need to seek the new direction and making sure that the next move when you progress, it should be a position higher and not lower or equal. Of course, when you join the company, sometimes there may be some management changes or whatever. You are being forced to make a decision. We can understand that. But always remember, your resume is very important. So your resume is not about academic only. It's really about your career resume when you job hop or whatever. That will be taken into consideration. Yeah. So basically, when you reach your 40, you don't need to have family focus, and then a bit of a financial stability. So you don't want big jump, at one point, you have to really think about your investment, how you grow your money, not parking just your money in the bank. It will just fetch you a very low interest. That is about financial management. Also, when of course, after your degree or whatever, or even the diploma, you could actually go for some career, some courses to enhance your knowledge about investment later part. So of course, when you reach the age of 50, I'm in 50s already. I'm more of a mentor already. So right now, really, you reap all the profit that you have. At the 50s, basically people will look at self-esteem. Once you pay all your financial liability, everything, the children start to graduate from degree or what. That's really future. But before, from 20, what you need to do is very important. So life is very different. I can say that every family have a very different background. But I always have a belief, if you really think you can, you can. Because I always believe in Singapore government is that we base on meritocracy, which is very important. So everybody need to really step up on that and then make changes that impact your own life. So somehow if I share, like how I grew up is very different. Even when I studied my grads 20 over years ago, my parents could not afford. So what I did is that I went to do part-time. After my uni time, and now I went to KTV to work until 3 a.m. in the morning, by the time 7:30, 8 o'clock in the evening. And that carries on 3 years. Of course, I'm not an A student, but I hope to be an A-star person. So we need to understand that in life, whether what kind of person you want to be. There's some students can be A-star, A-star student, but I think it's important to be an A-star person rather than an A-star student. So the main thing is that impacting lives is very important. So of course, when you reach 60, 70, that one we can discuss when you reach that age, really very different. So of course, when you look at our company, so basically, we are quite proud to be different. Of course, our core value is very customer focused, innovation, responsibility, and performance. I can say that within Trelleborg is an old Swedish company. We really focus on the diversity and inclusion. So I think in our company, right, we have a lot of 20s, some 20s, some 30s, some 40s, and some 50s. Why? Sometimes when we talk to the 20s, they have different opinion, and they actually give us some insights on businesses. So of course, you don't be afraid that when I try to enter in the industry, I'm new. But the main thing is about your attitude to learn, which is important. Which is quite critical when you step into the career life, because if your attitude is not right, the worst nightmare I ever had is that one student came to me and said, "Oh, Steven, so how is the company working hours?" I said, "We work, of course, from 9 to 5:30, but sometimes we need to have overtime, and you will not be paid." You get it? So if imagine when I tell you this, I'm waiting for how you respond to me. If you are somehow being very responsible, like my first job, I didn't even get any extra. I just continue to work hard. So eventually, when I step out of the company, I'm no longer the cheapest. I'm the most expensive regional manager. I control many regions, and that guy who employed me, eventually what happened? After 20 years, he's still working. I became his referral. Our role switch. You need to believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and your own core capability, which is very important. Before I end, I would like to show a video about inclusion. Okay, maybe I'll just share the last part. One thing, great leaders are quite important. So basically, I can say within a company, you need to understand the leader itself. So the leader sometimes, is quite important because the way how he drives the vision and mission, and how he actually gear up the team together and move forward the entire team in the company. So somehow, I can say that I'm working with the company for 20 years. My CEO, Peter Nielsen, has been with the company also for almost 20 years. So very family oriented. I think most of my staff have been working for me almost like 15, 20. Our turnover is very low, I can say. So of course, we always have somehow upscaling of our staff. Sometimes we send for internal training, sometimes we send for external training. Even for me, my MBA was sponsored by Trelleborg. Yeah, it's been 100% sponsored by Trelleborg. So that is somehow, you need to find a company that you feel that, there's a long-term career plan for you. Of course, when you first started, you can't choose anything, you are trying. But eventually, when you start to grow with the company, when you seek opportunity, that is the time that you should think about whether this company can be a long-term. Also, I think I will try to end my seminar, like today. So basically, I will just give a few quiz. I still got left with some prizes. So let's see whether some of you can give me a good answer for that. Just like I think I addressed my beginning stage. When is Trelleborg founded?
1905.
Huh?
1905.
Very attentive student. So how you say thank you in Swedish? Anybody want to try? Wow, fantastic. Very good. Tack. Yes. Thank you is tack. Any question for any of you? before we end this short meeting? Any question? Okay, frankly speaking, some of you may be thinking, hey, this is a company, everything. What makes it different from other Swedish companies? I think 7-8 years ago, when our staff actually asked me, we have been driving a lot of possibility, getting full bonus, full increment. I asked them what they want. So I have an initiative to create corporate social responsibility. Corporate social responsibility in terms of also.
I'm just going to say that it's like announcing the winner if you want to know.
Yeah, okay. So basically, eventually we do a lot of community services. Yeah, that's how we actually drive the company forward. So every year we got the sustainability and even corporate social responsibility and the way how we actually move. So not just very focused on the community. So if there's no question, I think I will end.
Can you give another round of applause, Mr. Kwok? Yeah, so if you have any further questions to ask about Trelleborg or just questions for Mr. Kwok directly, you can find it later or at the company booth downstairs.
Yeah.
Now we can take it.
Thank you everyone. Yeah, thank you.